The following is a presentation of 4 Star Sports Media. It's time to get down and dirty in the Hawg Trough with your host, Christian Johnston.
What's happening, Razorback fans? Just another day in paradise. You know, we've got something kind of special to talk about. I think everybody, if you're not a Razorback fan, knows what happened on Tuesday night. Zach,
what's up, man?
How's it going?
Hey, is that your finger on the screen? What is that?
Yeah, my bad. Man,
it's like, what is that, dude? Is it not great to be a freaking Razorback fan right now?
It's pretty awesome. I mean, the roller coaster of emotions I went through in that game on Tuesday. It was so neck and neck the entire way. Well, most of the game. And, you know, I was just waiting for Arkansas to either fall apart or, you know, start extending their lead. But the game remained close the entire way.
I have never – there's only a few times – in recent history that I have sat on the edge of my seat on pins and needles during a ball game, and Tuesday night was one of them. I mean, like you said, the whirlwind of emotions that I went through that whole game, I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I was pacing the living room.
Huh.
I mean, and then the game goes into overtime. The last second shot by Auburn, sending it into missing it, sending it into overtime. I got nervous because he let that ball go, and I went, "Ah, crap! They're gonna get us on a last second buzzer beater," and he missed. And I screamed so loud that and then it went into overtime. We won the game. I screamed so loud for so long that the apartment complex actually got noise complaints filed on me. I was so loud.
Man,
totally worth it though.
They should have been at Bud Walton.
Yeah, right?
Dude, I mean, that felt like a March Madness game. I mean, it obviously not as much riding on it, but it was still a very huge game. I think Arkansas fans lived up to the, expectations that we, kind of set for them. I think they were a huge part of Arkansas getting that win.
Well, Christian, think about it. Everybody's been, where'd my phone go? Everybody was talking about, Auburn's this and Auburn's that, Auburn. And we kind of had a feeling going into it that Arkansas might pull this off.
Yeah.
Arkansas might pull it off.
Leading up to the game, I was nervous, but I was confident at the same time.
So ESPN put a stat out earlier today, and they had over 1 million people watch the game Tuesday night.
Yeah.
It was the most watched college basketball game since 2018 on ESPN2. Almost 2 million people saw that game, especially in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Let me tell you something, and I'm going to say it right now. Arkansas is being overlooked. Arkansas is underrated right now. Okay?
Oh, they are, but the only thing hurting Arkansas right now is the early season struggles and not such a tough non-conference schedule. But I think you beat the number one team in the country, then definitely people need to start taking you serious. You're on a 9-game winning streak, 8-game conference winning streak, 9-game overall win streak. You don't win 8 games in the SEC in a row and not be a top 25 team, which I think we finally maybe cracked the top 25 after that game.
Couple things. Who's got the longest active winning streak in the SEC right now?
We do.
Arkansas. Who still is on an 9-game win streak and still isn't ranked right now?
Yeah. You don't see that very often.
Well, number two, LSU's lost 5 of their last 6 or 6 of their last 7 or whatever, and they're still ranked. Now, keep in mind, everybody, the rankings come out every Monday. So just because Auburn is still ranked number 1 does not mean they're going to stay that way.
Right.
Okay.
And something I learned about Auburn, they're vulnerable, but I still think they're as good as advertised. That game yes, we beat them, but they didn't play a great game, let's be honest. And a lot of that probably had to do with the crowd and the way Arkansas played. But,
but Christian, at the same time, like Brian Hatch says, he says, you got to beat Auburn, though, or it may all be for naught. And that's the case. They have to beat Auburn, or that Auburn wins going into the Auburn game, the best game that we've had, which was against LSU, since that LSU game, it's looked worse and worse because of how many games LSU's lost. Auburn, on the other hand, nobody thought we could do it. But the bad JoJo was they danced on the hog in pregame. But again, going back on what Brian Hatch said, they've got to beat Auburn, or they've got to beat Alabama.
He's exactly right. And, I enjoy, as a fan, I kind of enjoyed the win for about a day or two. I guess about a day and a half. And I've kind of turned the page to Alabama because here's the reality of it. Yes, we beat Auburn, but we could go to Tuscaloosa on Saturday and lose. I
don't see it happening that way just because of the way we played against Auburn. But at the same time, it's one of those where
I'm just saying, just because we beat the number 1 team doesn't mean we can take every other team lightly. And I don't think we will.
No, and I'm not saying we're going to win out by any means of the stretch of the imagination. However, we're not going to be overlooked from now on.
I feel like the guys play a little better when there's kind of a chip on their shoulder, and maybe they're getting a little bit overlooked. But here's the thing: if they keep playing like this, they're going to eventually get the recognition. They're 19-5, 8-3 in conference. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Before we go any further, before I forget, thank you to Slightly Biased Podcast for joining the post-game show Tuesday night, along with Marcus Carlton. Number 2, if you're watching us from outside of the 4-Star Sports Media Facebook pages, like in a Razorback group or something, make sure you like, share, and follow us on all across 4-Star Sports Media. And make sure you check out our website, 4star.live, home of the new 4-Star Sports Radio Network. And, man, at the top of the hour, we are going to have our weekly Pick'em show, and it's going to be hosted by yours truly.
And to piggyback off what Montique Anderson says, if we wouldn't have beat Auburn, it would have stung, obviously. It would have hurt, but I don't think it would have really hurt us that much, losing to the number 1 team. I think,
Well, okay, so let me jump in here, Christian. we kind of touched on this in post game Tuesday night. But here's the thing. Arkansas is a very odd fan base. We're very different than most fan bases across the country.
We're very passionate, for one. And when things aren't going right, some people feel it almost feels like it's a stab in the heart. You know, they take it too personally. They take it personally, and it's not. It's not a personal sport.
Well, you know, you have those fans that are like, look, we played our hearts out. Let's say the score was reversed and Auburn won 80-76. Okay. Now it didn't unfold the way that we beat Auburn with the dunk and the teabag by Devo, but we're going to talk about that in a minute because that was epic.
Shirt off, by the way.
Huh?
And Musselman took his shirt off. I mean, everything in that.
Hey, I knew that was coming, but here, let's focus on Monteek's comment. You have those that literally believe the wheels will fall off if we'd have lost to Auburn 80-76. Okay. I mean, quite literally, you're going to have those fans. If we drop, and we're going to, I can tell you now, we are going to end up dropping one more, at least one more game.
I think Saturday is going to be tough. I really do. I mean, Alabama.
Here's the thing, though. Hold on.
But look at who they beat.
Yeah, but again, if Auburn would have beat us on our home court, you're going to have those fans that are going to go, well, season's over. We can't beat Auburn. Then you're going to have some of those. You're going to have a section of fans, look, we played our hearts out. This is the number one team in the country. They're legit. Okay?
Yeah, I think Monteek's right on this comment as well. I mean, we don't typically get that much respect. We have to go out and earn it. And I think
at this point, Christian, like Monteek said, most people, if we'd have lost to Auburn, all the big talking heads would have been like, see, told you.
Right. But man,
your Mama Lisa's in the house. So is Chuck. What's up, Chuck?
There were times in that game where I thought, Auburn was going to pull away, and Arkansas just kind of weathered the storm and clawed their way back. I mean,
I was on a group chat on Twitter Space during that 8-minute drought, and I jumped off. And the minute I jumped out of that Twitter Space, scoring happened again. They started scoring, so I was like, I'm going to stay off Twitter for a little bit.
But no,
Brian.
Oh, go ahead.
Brian Hatch says at Bama, at Tennessee are both going to be tough, and we may go to Florida. Don't remember. Yes, I think
we
right,
do.
Brian.
Florida. I think we'll if we can split with Tennessee, that would be good. If we obviously got the win at Alabama, that would be huge. Yeah, I mean the back end of our schedule is by no means easy. I mean, at all. So, that Auburn win's big, but
your fingers covering half your camera there, Christian.
The fans and the players need to kind of move on from it because it's not going to really help you that much next week.
Well, and I've even told. I mean, even Wes said, or not Wes, even Muss. Sorry, I'm thinking in the next show. Even Muss said that he's got these players, kind of locked in on a game-to-game basis and not looking too far ahead.
You slack off, you'll get beat. I mean, Alabama's a good team when they're clicking. When they're not clicking, they can be beat, obviously, but that's pretty much with any team. So, back on Auburn, I think they kind of ran into a buzzsaw with Arkansas. You're at Bud Walton. Fans are just totally hyped up and ready for the game. The players are pumped up. But, yeah, it was a big win. First ever – I think the first time ever a number one ranked team has played in Bud Walton.
Mm-hmm.
So –
the last number one – Christian, can you tell me the last number one team that Arkansas hosted?
UNLV. No. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me the last time Arkansas beat a number one team?
North Carolina with Michael Jordan.
What year?
84.
Very good. You've been doing your homework. I'm so proud of you.
Yep. I wasn't even thought of at that point, but I still know my stuff.
I wasn't thought of either. I was still about 3 years away from being put on this earth.
Tom Bluff.
So hang on just a second, Christian. I'm having technical difficulties. I'll be right back.
But yeah, I mean, comment if you guys watch the game. Tell me what you think is going to happen on Saturday. I think Arkansas is going to have to show up and play. I mean, can't let off the gas. I think we need to finish this season out strong. And, I mean, you look at our schedule, we've got some pretty tough games. We still got Kentucky left. We've got 2 games with Tennessee. We've got Florida. We've got Alabama on Saturday. I mean, heck, I think, even at Missouri is a potential trap game if you don't show up to play. But I think, if you beat the number 1 team in the country, definitely I think there's a confidence boost, like Montique said. So hopefully that plays out the rest of the season. You don't want to see a letdown after a win like that. I mean,
no. Now, here's the funny part.
Sometimes.
We've been talking about in football how these 11 a.m. kickoffs suck. Well, how about an 11 a.m. tip-off for the Alabama-Arkansas game on Saturday? Those suck.
Yeah, because if they lose, you're mad all the rest of the day. For one, but I don't know. I mean, I think if we continue to win in these sports, you'll see less and less of these 11 a.m. tip-offs in football or basketball. So, but yeah, I mean, especially in football, I think it has more of a effect on.
Brian Hatch says, Brian, why have you? I gotta call him out for me. You need to start watching my show more, dude. I ain't seen you around in a while.
I don't think we go to Rupp.
Yeah, I don't. Hang on, let me pull up our schedule real quick. By the way, Arkansas women tip off in just under 40 minutes on the SEC.
Get it going. They need to get going, or they're going to miss the tournament.
Let's see. Make sure you guys tune in to it. 7 o'clock on the SEC Network Plus. They play Auburn as well from Bud Walton Arena.
I'm trying to check.
So you've got at Alabama, at Missouri, Tennessee comes to Bud Walton, at Florida, and then at Kentucky.
Oh,
Kentucky. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kentucky in Bud Walton as well to round out the games.
But I'll tell you what, Kentucky, man, they're going to be tough. I mean, SEC, I think this might be one of the best all-around years that we've, for the SEC. I mean, as far as talent-wise, I mean, Alabama, as good as they can be at times, they're only 15-9. I mean,
yeah.
So it just shows you how strong the conference is, and it makes the losses against Vanderbilt, kind of you question that a little bit. But I think Vanderbilt's even coming along.
Yeah. We got to go to break. When we come back, I want to get your thoughts on Hunter Yurechek's contract extension, Christian.
Really?
So, yeah. So we'll be back in just a minute. The Hawg Trough on the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. Back in a minute.
Hey fans, did you know that 4-Star Sports Media now has a YouTube channel? You can catch exclusive content covering all things Memphis Tigers and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Shows like The Point, and the only show on social media about the Arkansas Razorbacks that is purely fan-driven inside the Hog Pen. Plus other shows like The Hawg Trough, the 4-Star Sports Show, and many more coming soon. So check them out today. Go on YouTube.com and search 4-Star Sports Media.
Hawg Trough. I'm Razorback Zach from Inside the Hog Pen. Joining Christian's show today. We love doing these crossovers, dude. I really do. These are fun.
Heck yeah. So you said Yurechek got an extension. I mean,
so Yurechek got a 5-year extension to lock him in until 2027.
I mean, look at what's going on the Hill right now. I think if there's anybody that deserves it, it's him, because he's responsible for hiring 2 of the 3 coaches in the major sports right now. I think Musselman and Pittman so far have proved to be excellent.
Yeah, I'm pulling up his. According to WholeHogSports.com, they're reporting that the University of Arkansas extends Yurecheks contract by 5 years, giving him staying with us until 2027, in line to be paid a base annual salary of $1.2 million. An annual review pending the BOT's vote of $175,000 a year. Yeah.
Well,
he'll be paid a baseline of $566,000 in UA salary, just shy of the line item maximum for his position, and additional $684,000 for speaking engagements, radio and TV interviews, and other sponsorship obligations.
On top of the $125,000 or $250,000 fine. That's nothing, though.
Yeah, that's nothing. And notice how they did this the day after we ended up getting fined.
I'll say it's nothing. It's nothing for the university. I mean, obviously they.
Yeah. Are you holding your phone, dude?
Yeah.
Your finger keeps covering up the camera.
Oops.
But I mean, I think he's well worth it. Somebody put on Twitter earlier today, and I 100% agree with him. Hunter Yurechek is one Coca-Cola contract away from being an Arkansas legend.
You know, I mean, all the hires he's made have seemed so far to be excellent.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. So, Arkansas softball kicked off their season today with a 4-0 win over Rutgers.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. We are 8 days away from first pitch at Baum Walker Stadium. Well, I say at Baum Walker, but for baseball season anyway.
Yeah. Then we've got baseball. So
wrapping it up here, Christian. It's a pretty good time to be a Razorback.
It really is. I mean, you've got so many things to be excited about, really.
It's refreshing. It's refreshing to know that instead of being the laughing stock of the SEC and having all this drama and turmoil and chaos like the University of Auburn's got right now, but that's a different story for another time. Arkansas is pretty much the most boring program in the conference right now. I mean, we don't have anything crazy going on. We don't have any losing streaks or nothing crazy. I mean, we're just kind of here.
I mean, and you can also make the case, you know, in the 3 major sports, I think if you put them all together, I think we're doing the best right now. I mean, Alabama's obviously and Georgia are obviously top in football, but if you look at the other sports, I mean, I know baseball hasn't started, but you can almost guarantee that we're going to be in the running for that.
And here's the thing, dude, and I've said this many times. Georgia is going to be the one running the East right now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And as long as Nick Saban is drawing a paycheck and or a breath at Tuscaloosa, Alabama's going to be the team to beat in the West.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Arkansas's never going to be that elite program as long as Nick Saban and Alabama are running that dynasty down there in Tuscaloosa. But we're not going to be we're not a mid card. Okay, we're not a bottom feeder anymore. You're probably going to look at us being third, maybe sometimes second in the West. behind Alabama and maybe Ole Miss for the next year.
Yeah.
But I'll be shocked if we are anywhere lower than fourth in the SEC West for the near future.
I agree. I mean, but to go back to basketball, man, if we can finish out this regular season strong, maybe get a couple wins in the tournament, I think come March, you could see another type of run like we saw last year. I mean, Arkansas wasn't really talked about that much until the end of the year, kind of like we're seeing now.
Yeah.
And then by the time the March Madness rolled around, I feel like everybody was kind of, watching Arkansas at that point. And I feel like, I don't know if it was a former player. I think it was a former player on the 94 team. Said he saw a lot of similarities, something to that effect, in this team that he saw in that 94 team.
I can believe that.
I mean, I can see this. I can see it too. I mean, we don't have a lot of knockdown shooters, but they play hard. They play good defense. They get, buckets. They just play hard, and I think the same thing is true in basketball. I think kind of defense still kind of dictates how the game goes for the most part. I mean, if you're playing good defense, that a lot of times will lead to good offense. And that's the biggest thing I think I've seen with this team is the defensive end. I mean, we couldn't stop anybody early in the season. We could hardly score. But I think
early on in the Auburn game on both ends of the court, dude, it looked ugly. It looked sloppy.
We got up to a 12-point lead at one point, and I was like, okay. But then, they made that run at the half, got it to 3, and I was like, okay, it's going to be second half is going to be a battle.
Yeah.
It was a battle. I mean, heck, I think we were down 5 with 2 minutes to go, and I was like, I don't think we're going to pull it off. And
you never count on Arkansas from now on, though.
I realize that now. I mean, but number one team in the country, I felt like they were,
right,
good position to win it. They just couldn't. I felt like they missed a lot of free throws too. And let's talk about some of their players. They got some good players on that team. I mean,
yeah, Kessler started to irritate the crap out of me. But
did you see that one possession where we had a 4-on-1?
Yeah, and we just kept passing the ball around. That's how you got to do it with a big man.
I mean, we couldn't get a good shot up, and it was 4-on-1. But yeah, I mean.
So, but any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I guess don't dance on the logo.
Don't dance on what? Oh yeah, on the logo.
Our logo,
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, that kind of shocked me a little bit, but I think we got payback at the end, especially with Devo. Something I noticed on that last play with Devo, after he dunked on that, well, he didn't really dunk on him, but after he, got, I don't know how to describe it, but
here's my thing. Why would you run, and I know we're running out of time here, but I don't know. Why would you run up on a dude when he's already hanging from the damn rim?
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of
Why would you run up on that dude like it? And then he drops it. Of course you were going to get teabagged. You ran up on him.
Did you see him chase after him?
He did. He chased after him, and then he backed off once he realized, these people were coming on the court.
I think, yeah, he was going to at least get in his face, or do something, initiate something. But the crowd, at that time, the crowd was already rushing out, and he kind of was like, yeah, I better not.
He was all alone. Then he was like, I'm not going to, no.
Because, if he would have started.
He'd have got stomped.
Fans probably would have got involved, and it would not.
Oh, absolutely.
It wouldn't have been pretty.
So, all right, dude. All right, one more announcement before we get out of here. Top of the hour, 7 o'clock, all across 4-Star Sports Media and the 4-Star Sports Radio Network. It is the college basketball pick'em show. All of us, the guys across the 4-Star brand, coming together once again for a weekly pick'em show. And I wonder what kind of antics Boom's going to have in store for us again this week. You're just going to tune in to find out. Take us home, Christian.
Expect him to pick against the Hogs.
Oh, I 100%. All right, dude, take us home.
All right, everybody. I appreciate everyone who tuned in on all of our platforms. We are growing, and it's getting more fun each day, each show. It really has. And, got a great group of guys. So appreciate everybody who commented. I think we got one. We had one. But yeah, everybody who commented, tuned in. It's fun times to be a Razorback fan, and I hope we can continue to entertain and bring you guys great content. So, with that being said, peace out and go Hogs, everybody.
Top of the hour, 7 o'clock. Don't miss it.
Don't miss.
Go Hogs!